Hey Chicago golfers, I know a lot of you have been working on your ball striking, and then there comes a point where you start to hit it good, but then you want to be able to shoot some lower scores. And if we're going to shoot lower scores, we have to become friends with our wedge. In this video, I want to teach you the basics of a greenside pitch shot. A shot where we're 20 to 30 yards away from the hole, where we want to be able to plop the ball on the green close to the hole, maybe get up and down. The shot's so important. It happens on almost every hole. So I want to talk about the basics. I want to show you how to practice, and I want to help you become friends with your wedge. Let's get started. So the first step in learning how to hit this greenside pitch shot is by learning the motion that your body has to make. And I like to do this with a throw-in analogy. You know, if we were on the side of the green and I was throwing a ball, like if I was playing bags, I would have my weight go forward and I'm pretending that I am tossing the ball on the green. This is the same thing here with a greenside pitch shot. If I was tossing a ball with my hand, my stance would be slightly open so I could see where I'm going to throw it. It's nothing exaggerated. I'm not 45 degrees open. I'm just 1 inch open with my stance, a little flare in my foot. And then the big thing, when I'm tossing this ball, all right, I am pivoting forward. So when I am tossing, my weight has gotten off my back foot, my belt buckle and my chest, they're facing the target, and that is going to be the motion of this pitch shot. That is really step one, all right? Now, let's go to step two. We want to be able to learn how to put the club on the ball with our trail hand only. So my right hand is a right-handed golfer. And what we want to do, we want to be able to make the same motion. When you put your trail hand on, let's put your hand halfway down the grip. All right. I want you to put your lead hand on your hip. And then we're going to do a few motions like this where we hear that club bruise the ground. All right. Now, if you've never done this before, it takes a little bit. Now, this is how we're going to do it. I want to make sure that when you have the club lined up, that the grip of your golf club is right over the golf ball. The bottom of the swing is where the grip is at. So many players, they kind of hang back like this, and they end up hitting up on it or they hit the ground before the ball. So what we're going to do, right hand halfway down the grip, lean the club. So my grip says Golf Pride. So Golf Pride, my grip is right over the ball. And then we are doing a little bit of a pivot. And I want us to be able to hold our finish like this. Now, the reason why I'm holding my finish, okay, it's telling me that I have the club under control. We do not want to flip this golf club and like lose control of the club. We want to be able to do a nice little thump and pivot. All right, so I have my stance. Ball position for this shot. Let's play it in the middle of our stance. Let's start with some pressure forward. I want us to get what feels like 60 to 70% on our front foot. And we could think of this front foot kind of like a pillar that we are going to pivot around. So we never want to be falling back with our pitch shots. We always want the weight moving forward. So I'm going to do one more with my trail hand. Right hand, grip right on top of the ball. I've got a little pressure forward, and then I'm doing that pivot. And I'm holding. And then we're just pitching these golf balls onto the green. All right? So now let's go to the next step. Let's start to get both hands on the golf club. I want to show you a practice station you could set up. All right, with this next step, we're going to put both hands on the club, and I want you to create a feedback station for these pitch shots. It starts with a gate that you can make with your alignment sticks, and then you could give yourself a couple inches on each side of the club head. And then I want us to make a plane station here. This is where you could take another alignment stick and put it in the ground. It's at a similar angle to the shaft of my wedge right here. Now, with this practice station, we're going to make sure that the club is going back on plane. All that means is that we're not sneaking this club too flat into the inside. This is a common mistake when players are having trouble hitting pitch shots. When the club starts coming too much inside, it's too shallow, and the club will hit the ground before the ball, or it's on the rise and we'll top it. Okay? And then I want one more thing here. I like to take something soft. You could use a head cover. I just have this yoga block right here. And what this does, it makes the club go up in the air so that way it could come down and brush the grass. This is not a putt. A pitch shot is not a putt. If you set up like a putt, 50-50, and you bring the club back low, you're going to hit it like a putt where there's no descending angle of attack. And for us, we want to be able to hit down on this golf ball so that way it pops up into the air. Again, you could do this with one hand, boom, but we're feeling that club up in the air, thump the ground. I am controlling that golf club. So I think this is a great feedback station that you could set up anywhere. You could even use your golf bag right here, head cover right behind the ball. And then now we have both hands on the golf club when we're hitting this pitch shot. Notice my pivot. I'm finishing with my weight forward, get in the hole. Okay. Now, we want to be able to own the low point of our swing. Turf interaction is our friend. We want that club to smoothly bruise the ground. This is where players get in trouble. They will lean the shaft too far forward, all right? So they get something like this. Ball's too far back, shaft's too far forward. Now, when they do hit the ground, because of how much shaft lean they have, the club is so sharp, they end up hitting it fat. They end up like putting the club in the ground like that. So then on their next shot, they get nervous. They're like, man, I don't want to hit the ground. So then they kind of lift it up, you know, and then they kind of blade it over the green. And all of that's because excessive shaft lean. So let's definitely make sure that we have the handle of the club over the ball. Now, a lot of players will ask me, like, what club should I use? Should I use my 60, my sand wedge, my approach wedge? Let the shot tell you what club to use. Meaning, if you have lots of green to work with, you could use a club like a pitching wedge because once it lands on the green, it's going to roll. If there's no green to work with and you need the ball to stop, use your 60 degree, but do use this stock setup. Handle over the ball. We're going up plane, we're pivoting forward, and it just kind of comes out of the same window each time. All right. Other things that are really going to help you with your pitch shots, we never want to hang out on our back foot like this. And then the pivot is so important going forward. You know, you would never kind of hang back and try to lift this ball up in the air. So use this practice station. Go in those steps. You know, pretend you're tossing a golf ball. Learn how to put your trail hand on the ball using the club. You could do this at home with the foam golf balls. And then when you practice, create a station like this, okay? And this is just a stock, basic pitch shot. I'm using my sand wedge right here. I'm just landing at 20 yards. It's just a very, very basic shot that is essential to shooting low scores on the golf course. But if you need any help, feel free to reach out, and good luck playing this week.